Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where Reddit's AITAH stories go on trial. Make sure to listen carefully and express your verdict in the comment section below. Moving on to the first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for freaking out over my wife's not serious cheating excuse? With update. So I, 31M, have been married to my wife, 30F. Let's call her Jess, for 3 years. Everything was pretty normal until recently, when I caught her in a lie that's made me question everything. Jess has been super secretive with her phone lately, always taking it to the bathroom, sleeping with it under her pillow. You know the drill. I confronted her, and she said it was just work stuff. But her tone was off. I found a hotel receipt in her purse. When I asked, she said it was for a work retreat. But then, I saw a text from a guy on her phone saying something like, "Can't wait for next time." When I asked about it, she got defensive, saying it was just a friend and nothing happened. She admitted to meeting up with this guy, but said it was not serious. Like, she actually used those words. She claimed they just talked. But come on, who books a hotel room just to chat? I lost it. I called her out for being so dumb to think I'd believe that. I mean, not serious. Really? I'm questioning if I even know this woman. Now, here's where I might be the AITA. Like, really yelled. Said some stuff I probably shouldn't have, like calling her a liar and saying I was stupid for marrying someone so naive or deceitful. I told her family. In the heat of the moment, I called her sister and spilled everything. Jess was mortified, and now her family's involved. I'm thinking about divorce. I love her, but this whole not serious excuse has me doubting everything. Jess says I'm the asshole and overreacting. She insists it was just a conversation, nothing more, and that I'm blowing this out of proportion. Update. That phrase, not serious, kept replaying in my head. She seemed so casual about it, like it was no big deal. But to me, it was everything. My wife meeting another guy in secret wasn't something I could brush off. I felt like my entire world was flipped upside down. When we had that first confrontation, I lost control. I yelled. I said things I regret. I was hurt, and I lashed out. But worse than that, in a moment of anger, I called her sister and told her everything. It wasn't planned. I just couldn't handle the weight of it all. Jess was furious, understandably so. But at the time, I thought she deserved the shame, to be held accountable by someone other than me. Since that night, things have been tense, to say the least. Jess hasn't denied meeting the guy, but insists it was nothing beyond an emotional connection. And she keeps saying that I'm blowing this out of proportion. But how am I supposed to feel when the person I trusted most in the world is having secret meetups? Whether or not it got physical doesn't change the fact that she betrayed me. The worst part is that we're barely communicating. I want to scream every time I think about that hotel receipt. But at the same time, I feel completely numb. Jess says it wasn't a big deal and that I'm overreacting. But how can I not react when it feels like the life I thought we were building is suddenly filled with lies? Since telling her family, things have gotten messy. Her sister called me, trying to mediate, but I couldn't even put my feelings into words. I wasn't looking for mediation. I was looking for understanding, for someone to tell me I wasn't crazy for feeling this devastated. Now her entire family knows, and while some are trying to stay neutral, there's this tension hanging over everything. Jess is furious I aired our dirty laundry, and in hindsight, I realized that maybe I shouldn't have. I regret pulling others into this mess, but I also don't know how to undo the damage that's been done. Jess has been keeping her distance, emotionally and physically. She still swears nothing happened, and maybe, just maybe, that's true. But the fact that she hid it, that she met this guy and lied to my face, that's what I can't shake. Trust is a fragile thing, and right now, ours is shattered. I've been staying with a friend for the last few days to get some space and figure out what I'm feeling. I thought that would help clear my head. But if anything, I just feel more confused. Part of me loves Jess deeply, and the thought of walking away from our marriage hurts more than I can explain. But another part of me wonders if I'll ever be able to trust her again. Every time I look at her now, all I see is that hotel receipt and those texts. It's hard not to feel stupid for not seeing the signs earlier. The secrecy, the defensiveness, it was all right there in front of me. and I ignored it because I wanted to believe we were solid. Now, I'm questioning if I ever really knew her at all. I don't know what's next. Divorce feels like a massive decision, but so does staying in a marriage where trust has been broken. I'm talking to a therapist now, trying to figure out my emotions before making any life-changing moves. I still love Jess, and I never thought I'd be in this situation, but love isn't enough to fix something this broken. To everyone who commented on my original post, thank you. Your words helped me see that my feelings are valid, even if I didn't handle things perfectly. I've made mistakes too, and I'm owning that. But I can't pretend like everything's okay when it's not. I'm just taking it day by day, trying to figure out what's best for me and for my future, whether that's with Jess or without her. I'll keep you all posted. What do you think about this one? Lay down the hammer in the comments section, and let's move on to the second case. Case 2. Am I the bad person for walking out of dinner after my boyfriend humiliated me in front of his family over my cooking? I, 26F, have been with my boyfriend, 28M, for about a year now. We get along well most of the time, but something happened last weekend that's really been bothering me. We went over to his parents' house for dinner, and ever since, things have been awkward. A bit of backstory. I love cooking. I'm not a professional by any means, but it's something I'm passionate about and take pride in. My boyfriend knows this, but he's constantly comparing my cooking to his mom's, especially when it comes to her lasagna. I've heard about this lasagna more times than I can count. So before we leave for his parents' house, he makes this offhand comment. Maybe you'll finally learn how to make lasagna properly tonight. Yours could definitely use some improvement. I tried to laugh it off, but honestly, it hurt my feelings. Still, I brushed it aside because I didn't want to start anything before dinner. We get to his parents' place, and as expected, his mom's lasagna is the star of the meal. Everyone is raving about it, and of course, my boyfriend jumps in to say, "Oh man, this is real lasagna." Opie tried making it once, but let's just say, there's a reason we're all here eating my mom's tonight. Everyone laughed. I felt embarrassed, but kept smiling to avoid making things awkward. Then he kept going, saying that I burned the sauce. I didn't, and that maybe I should just leave lasagna to the experts. His family was cracking up, and I sat there, trying not to lose it. It wasn't just a joke to me. It felt like he was putting me down, especially in front of his family, who I'm still trying to make a good impression with. I couldn't handle it anymore, so I excused myself from the table and went to sit in the car. A few minutes later, my boyfriend comes out, looking confused, and asks why I left. I told him how hurt I was by his comments, and instead of apologizing, he said I was overreacting, and that it was just a joke. He said I need to stop being so sensitive and learn to take a joke, especially around his family. I was upset and told him that if he thought embarrassing me in front of his family was funny, maybe he should just date his mom's cooking instead. Now that didn't go over well. He got angry and accused me of ruining the night. Since then, we've barely spoken, and he's waiting for me to apologize. But I feel like he should be the one apologizing. So now I'm wondering, did I take it too far? Was I being overly sensitive? Or was I right to walk out after being embarrassed like that? What about that? Who would you rule for? State down your ruling, and let's move on to our third case. Case 3. Am I the bad person for calling off my engagement because of his remarks about cheating? So a bit of context here. My 19F fiancé Nick, 26M, proposed a few weeks ago, and we first started dating last year. Our relationship is still in its early stages, and I feel like I don't fully know Nick yet. Over the past weekend, I found out about his opinion on cheating, and it completely caught me off guard, so I called off our engagement. We were out clubbing with some friends, then we ran into his old friends from high school, so they joined our group. Everyone was drinking a lot, so afterwards we all decided to go after party at one of Nick's friends' house. Well, once we got there, all the men started getting super rowdy. Then I overheard Nick and someone talk about how it's normal for men to cheat, and as long as they go back home to their main girl, it's okay. According to Nick, guys can separate sex from love and not get attached to the girl he cheats with. Keep in mind, I'm not usually a jealous girl, but this threw me off. We've had so many threesomes together, and I let him fuck pretty much all my friends. Even after all that, he still says this shit. He also took my virginity at 18. He caught me staring at him, like he knew I heard the entire conversation. I could tell he felt a bit guilty when he saw me hear that. I stormed off and went outside without saying a word. I got an Uber home that was thankfully 2 minutes away, so I left before he found me. I texted him, saying the engagement is off, and turned off my phone for the night. When I woke up, I saw dozens of texts and voicemails from him. He apologized and said he didn't actually mean those things, and it was locker room talk. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted and it was all just a joke, but at the same time I want a guy that's actually loyal. Personally, I think I'm a great girlfriend. I have a low body count, am loyal, he'll have threesomes and let him fuck my friends. Apparently I'm also really good at giving head, but I've only sucked one dick so far, so ick. If any other guys are interested in talking, please tell me. I want to weigh out my options before I make a decision, but please be a bit older than me. Guys my age aren't serious, and I want a real man. What do you think the fair ruling should be? You hold the power of judgment. State your ruling in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.